How's everybody doing? So it's me again. I call myself Keto Queen ElleAura or Keto Queen YYC. I am here with my friends Brenda and Christine. We're gonna all tell you today how to break through plateaus. So a little bit about me. I am a keto coach now. I've been on my keto journey for 4 years. Drinking ketones is how I started, and then I adapted the keto diet later. I kind of do a loose keto. I have tracked. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm going to tell you a lot about my experience as we go through how to break through plateaus. There is so many ways. We're probably going over about 10. Each of these segments could have a full video on it. So guys, please comment below what ones you need more information about. Please comment your experiences as we go. This is going to be super helpful for everyone on this journey. Me, in a nutshell, I'm down 40 pounds, but it wasn't just a boom down and there was a lot of plateaus on the way. Why do plateaus happen? Don't be frustrated with them. They make sense. They serve a purpose. Our body is actually healing. So we lose weight, we're healing, and we're also sometimes plateauing because in the beginning, you might not even see results right away. And you might think you're plateaued then, but there's also a fat whoosh effect. There's also a reason we plateau because of our metabolism getting used to what we're doing. So I'm going to dive into all of those reasons why, and then we're going to give you guys some solutions. Number one, why do we plateau? Like I was saying, your metabolism can get used to what you're doing. So if you have adapted a low carb or ketogenic lifestyle, your body over some time might be like, hey, she doesn't eat carbs ever. I'm just going to store some fat. So some people will do carb cycling or cheat meals, which I'll dive into a little bit more after, to kind of shock their metabolism. So comment below if you guys do cheat meals. How often do you do cheat meals? Do you track? Are you absolutely crazy and you like binge eat pizza and drink like all of the red wine? That used to be me. It's not effective, friends. And like you feel like crap, so don't even do that. Strategic is carb cycling, eating healthy fruit, eating lower sugar, lower carb things like sweet potatoes and like whole foods. Healthy grains, but not too much, reading labels still because you don't want to shock your body too much. So I am on my carb cycling journey. I will let you guys know how that goes. It's been great so far. It's been fun and I'll do a full video on that eventually. But if you guys have been keto or low carb for a while and you are experiencing a plateau, that could be something that could shock your metabolism and help things get going. But don't jump to that right away, especially if you have problems with carbs and sugar and you feel like you're going to get off the bandwagon and you're going to just eat carbs all the time. You can't handle it. You have a food addiction or problems surrounding food and lack of control with your eating, then you may want to pump the brakes on that as your solution, because there is so many reasons and so many hacks to help you get out of your plateau. Like I was saying, the fat whoosh, maybe your metabolism isn't even a factor. Maybe it's actually just your fat cells. So when you start drinking ketones or start doing a weight loss program or a diet program, your fat cells, they don't just like disappear. You do lose water, you do lose muscle. Ketones do preserve muscle, so they are awesome. So does the ketogenic diet if done properly and you're eating enough protein. So guys, don't just like fly by the seat of your pants. If you are adopting a keto lifestyle, you have to be careful that you're doing it healthy. So do some tracking. If you're unsure, even tracking a couple of days is going to be a game changer for you. I'll talk more about that after too. Please comment if you guys do track though. So when you start, your fat cells, they empty fat and they fill with water. So if you can imagine a water balloon, that water balloon is waiting and you'll measure yourself, and measuring yourself on the scale, you'll see no change. You'll try on your clothes and you'll see no change. And you might get frustrated and say, screw this, I'm giving up. But please, 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 guys, commit 90 days to your health journey. No matter what you see on the scale, inches, whatever, You are investing in your future. You're doing something that's super healthy for your body, and your body loves being in the state of ketosis. So commit. Don't just give up easy. I know a lot of us, like myself, has tried every pill, patch, and shake, and you're just so frustrated with not having results like now or yesterday, but you got to be patient. So these fat cells, they're filled with water and they're waiting for you to be patient, and then whoosh, a fat whoosh happens. I'm going to post a little video below. So guys, check the comments. We're going to post a ton of resources as we go, and please comment what you need more info on. So the fat whoosh will happen, and then one day you're going to be like, oh wow, the scale moved or the inches moved, and you'll be super happy. But usually you lose weight, you plateau. You lose weight, you plateau. So just get used to and expect it. It's normal and it's healthy and it's okay. Just be okay and love yourself how you are right now, okay? Back to tracking. We know keto is low carb, high fat, moderate protein. If you are eating too much protein or too much fat, when you're fat adapted, you can burn your fat that you're eating instead of your body's fat. So you might want to take a look at that. If you're eating a bunch of fat bombs all the time and heavy whipping cream all the time, you might want to take a peek. They do actually say changing your macros every 15 pounds and reevaluating macros every 15 pounds can be super beneficial for your keto journey. Protein, same thing. Protein breaks down into sugar in your body. If you're eating too much protein, same thing. You may either get bumped out of ketosis or you're burning that, so you're not steadily dropping. Same with carbs. We all know low carb, but sometimes we get carried away. Sometimes carbs are hiding in things, especially if you dine out. But they do sneak sugar into a lot of sauces and a lot of drinks, so it can be challenging. And even like salad dressings. Like, come on, why are they putting sugar in salad dressings? But they totally do. So use that as a grain of salt. Guys, comment if you're tracking, what app you use. I think Carb Manager is amazing. When I broke through my first plateau, I tracked maybe 3 weeks and I lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks from tracking. And I didn't track every single day, but I found it was very educational. And I found that I was learning a lot because I had no idea where carbs were, what was okay to eat, what would bump me out of ketosis. And I learned a lot, and I now use that knowledge going forward, and I don't track anymore, but I do track when I carb cycle. So I'll let you guys know more about that as I carb cycle through my journey. I'm going to give it like a month or two before I give you guys a full like video on that. It's important because I was aiming to do 60 carbs and I ended up doing 100, but I'm down a pound anyways. So I'm sure it's fine, but that's the thing. Like sometimes we don't even know what we're putting in our body unless we're tracking it on our phones. If you're not tracking, you might want to start tracking, even track your average day, even once. Carb Manager is a great app because it looks at your age, your weight, your level of activity. It looks at a lot of different things in your profile to make your specific macros. And then if you have a different carb goal than what they're suggesting, you can go edit that, slide the bars around, and it will edit all of the macros. Another way that you might be screwing up your macros or screwing up your insulin levels is snacking. So some people say you need to snack in order to like keep your metabolism on point and break through plateaus if you're not snacking. So if you're already snacking, I would say maybe stop snacking. If you're not snacking, maybe play around with snacking. It's kind of, there's no right or wrong answer. It's kind of going to be individualized to your body. Me personally, I haven't been snacking. I was doing intermittent fasting with 2 meals a day, and I was eating enough calories. But I'm now playing around with snacking as I have increased my exercise levels. I have started snacking and I'm still seeing the results with the inches and the scale. So there's 2 schools of thoughts on that. But if you're plateaued, maybe do something different than what you're doing. But if you're constantly eating, you're not giving your body time to burn your fat. You're just spiking your insulin. You might feel more tired. You have to listen to your body. And it's not like you wake up, you start eating, and you just don't stop until late evening. Be strategic. If you're going to snack, some people will have snacks with their meals. That's what I used to do. I'd have my good fat bar with my breakfast. It was always super delicious and awesome. I didn't miss any treats because I had them with my meals. And then I wouldn't eat early and I wouldn't eat late. And intermittent fasting is so healthy. I have a video on that. I will comment that down below. If you guys haven't started intermittent fasting, it's super duper easy. I'll get Christine to tell you more about intermittent fasting and a few other things, and then Brenda will tell you the rest.
I'm Christine, and I have been on my keto journey for about 3 years now. And I also include intermittent fasting. I wouldn't say every single day. Most days I'm intermittent fasting a 16 8-hour window. So I'll explain that in a minute. First, I just kind of wanted to go into what is intermittent fasting. So basically, you're reducing your eating window so that you can eat less often. So fasting impacts your metabolism, the way that your body utilizes and converts energy. So when you're eating less, you're basically training your body to burn fat for fuel. So there's lots of benefits with fasting, including autophagy, which is renewing your cells in your body. It's not about counting calories, but it's about hormones. So basically, when you're eating less, you're reducing your insulin. This is giving your body time to adapt to fat as energy. It's putting you into ketosis, especially if you're doing intermittent fasting in a shorter window or if you're doing extended fasting. There's lots of different kinds. I'm just going to go through a couple and give you a tip on how to get started. For me, when I started intermittent fasting, I used to eat the typical 3 meals a day in the morning when you wake up, lunchtime and dinner, as well as several snacks. If you're just beginning, I wouldn't rush it and just switch overnight. I would slowly make your window smaller. Start with the morning, like skipping breakfast and pushing it as far as you can go, utilizing some support products in the morning. Like I drink Nat in the morning. Some people will drink keto cream, even like a fat coffee, that kind of stuff, just to prolong your fast a little bit, which just gives you that extra time so that you're not eating. Because every time you eat, it raises your insulin levels. So that's why you're trying to eat less, not necessarily less calories, just less often. And there's lots of benefits to that. It also teaches you like when you're really hungry versus when you're just craving something. Maybe you're actually thirsty, maybe you're low on electrolytes. There's all kinds of reasons why you go to the kitchen and start eating just out of habit. Intermittent fasting is also just a habit that you're trying to create. It's a lifestyle and it's a choice. So for me, I usually just eat lunch and dinner. Some people will just eat breakfast and lunch. So it's your choice how you want to build your intermittent fasting routine. It is also, when we're talking about plateaus, important to realize if you're constantly always doing the same thing, your body is going to adapt to that. And that's why a plateau might happen, is because it's just used to it. So you might want to stress your body a bit and change it up, switch your hours of eating. Maybe if you're used to doing lunch and dinner, try a couple days doing breakfast and lunch. Often it's also good to try and save your heavy meals for middle or beginning of the day versus the evening, just to give you more time to digest it and metabolize all the food. Those are just a couple things to think about. Sometimes people even have patterns where they'll do alternating fasting. So you're doing it every other day or doing 4 days in a row and doing 3 days not intermittent fasting. Some people just do one meal a day. So you just kind of got to find what works for you. And again, these are not for prolonged periods of time when you're switching your routine up to like the extreme, maybe smaller window of 4 hours. You're just doing that to break through your plateau. And then you can go back to your normal intermittent fasting routine of like 16 and 8 or 18 and 6. Yeah, just a couple of different ways to do it. Also, just realize that when you're starting keto or intermittent fasting, a lot of the initial weight loss is water weight if your scale is fluctuating. So just try and stay away from the scale. Focus on how you're feeling and your measurements and all that stuff instead of worrying about a number on the scale, because there's all kinds of things like your hormones that go into that too, and it changes that number. Stay positive. Don't put yourself down when you're in a plateau, and know that you can get through it, and there's different tips and tricks. What I just was wondering, like, who does intermittent fasting? Maybe write down in the comments what kind of intermittent fasting you do, what's worked the best for you, what maybe didn't work best for you, just so we can all see what different people have done and motivate each other to try and look into it more, because there's so many benefits. So one of my favorite tools for extended fasting is the Keto Reboot. And this is a 60-hour fast, and it has products in it. So it's not just like you stop eating and there's nothing to support you throughout the 60 hours. It has the Nat ketones. It has bone broth, which has ketones in it. It also has Keto Pro at the end, which is great for breaking your fast. It has MCTs in it. It has collagen in it. So healthy functional fat, so that you're not just going straight back into eating a big meal, and because that could upset your tummy. It also has Mitoplex, which is an electrolyte, which is super important when you're doing keto low carb or just in general. A lot of people are low on electrolytes, and it helps you drink more water when you're drinking electrolytes. So those are super important part of the kit. And the Signal OS AM and PM pills, those are also very important. They help you just with your digestion and also just calming you. The PM one is great for sleep, which I'm going to be talking about as well. And then I just wanted to share that with you guys because I've done the reboot about 14 times now, and I just finished one and I feel awesome. It reduces your bloat, which helps a lot with the weight loss and the feeling like you're breaking through a plateau. I usually lose about 5 to 10 pounds, and I don't usually gain a ton of it back. Maybe a couple pounds, that's normal because your weight fluctuates, but it's more about the measurements and how you feel. For me, the keto reboot is awesome as well because of the community support that it brings, which helps with also busting a plateau because then you don't feel like you're doing it alone. You can get tips from people. So that's great as well that they have an entire group just dedicated to the keto reboot. I'm wondering who has done a reboot before. Drop that down in the comments. How long when do you usually do? Good, better, or best is kind of what they say. 24 hours is good, 36 hours is better, and 60 hours is best. On average, I usually do 64 hours because I'm just not hungry after, and I continue with my intermittent fasting until noon the next day. And it just feels like you have more control over your cravings and your appetite, and just knowing why you're putting food into your body is super important instead of just doing it out of habit, and just it allows you to make better decisions. I'm going to go into sleep because sleep is another big thing that affects weight gain and weight loss. A lot of people just don't get enough sleep, or they're not getting good sleep. I found a stat that said 90% of our mind and body recovery occurs while we sleep. So it's super important to get good sleep and to prep for successful sleep. Another stat that I found was if you have less than 6 hours, it can reduce fat loss by 55%, and it increases your stress hormones, which increases your weight and reduces fat loss. There's just so many different elements to sleep and why it's important for our health, especially when it comes to weight and fat loss. It can deregulate your hormones if you don't have enough sleep. So leptin is your satiation hormone. So it tells you when you're hungry. Basically, if you get lack of sleep, it's decreasing that, and then you're not knowing when you're actually hungry, so you're overeating. Ghrelin is also another hormone that lack of sleep affects, and it increases your ghrelin, which is kind of the opposite. So it increases your appetite. It's just super important to get sleep. So I'm going to give you a couple tips on how to improve your sleep, just so that you guys are able to help break through some plateaus. So the first one is to stick to a sleep schedule. So try and pick times, like same times in the evening and in the morning for your sleep schedule. And that will help regulate your body's clock and help you stay asleep and fall asleep a lot better. Relaxing bedtime routines or rituals are also really helpful. A lot of people will do yoga or meditation, reading, something that's going to calm your body and put you into that bedtime routine will be helpful. And staying away from bright lights because they tend to excite your body or cause stress and anxiety. If you're around like electronics or like have bright lights in your room, it's just going to be harder to sleep. So you want to eliminate that completely. Also, try and avoid napping if you can. A power nap is fine here and there, but if you have trouble sleeping, if you avoid napping throughout the day, that could also help with your sleep. Exercising daily, which Brenda's going to talk about, even if it's just like a small activity, it doesn't have to be a vigorous workout, that will help you with your sleep. Avoiding large meals in the evening, at least 2 to 3 hours before bed, you should stop eating. And if you really are unsure of how you're sleeping, you can always ask for professionals' help or start doing a sleep diary or tracking your sleep just to kind of see what your patterns are so that you can know where to improve. So I'm just curious, how many hours in the night do you on average sleep? I think that's it. So Brenda can take it away from here.
Hey guys, how are you? I'm Brenda. Actually started in October, so I'm actually down over 30 pounds already. Actually just doing a reboot like Christine was talking about, so I'm actually in the process of doing that right now, guys. So bear with me. Things are going good. I'm doing great. So the couple things I'm actually going to go over with you guys is the benefits of water definitely when you're on any type of journey of anything or just daily life, you got to have water. Water is number one. You should honestly be drinking about half your body weight. Drinking water actually will help flush out excess salt in your system. It's going to help keep your hunger at bay. Definitely drink tons and tons of water. Make sure you have your water with you throughout the day. You find where you're trying to maybe prolong having a meal. Also, if you're finding your urine is on the yellow side, then that's showing that you're dehydrated, guys. So that would be a sign to up your water intake. So for me, I have to drink about 10 glasses of water a day. Everybody's different. If you are having issues drinking water, some options, you can add some lemon juice or a little bit of Mio. I know some people just don't like plain water, so you can always do that. Flavored water, I usually do some flavored water. Work your way up as best you can. I mean, some days, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have enough water and I definitely feel it. The 𝒉𝒆, the electrolytes, that is something that's really, really good. Actually helps optimize your health and body performance. And you can mix that in your water too as well. I find mixing it with the ketones, I find that doing those two things together. Also doing a low carb diet, your electrolytes can be lowered. Taking the 𝒉𝒆 is actually really good with helping building up your metabolism as well. So that's another benefit of doing electrolytes in your daily routine. I usually try to do 1 to 3 a day. That also helps with your energy, muscle mass, and your cognitive performance as well. That's good for some other people with brain fog or anything like that. Are other things that it does, but those are just some few things that I just thought I'd mention to you guys. And another one that I wanted to mention, the Better Broth, that is actually something that comes in the reboot system that Christine was talking about. And that's really good because it's gut friendly. So if you do find you have some problems with stomach issues or anything like that, it's good for your skin, hair, nails, and also it's good for your muscle growth as well. Sometimes I will put some of the broth in my coffee in the morning because I'm lactose intolerant. So sometimes I just want to sprinkle a little bit of that in, and I find that kind of helps me as well. And there's also ketones in that as well, guys. It also detoxes and helps with healthy joints. It has amino acids and protein and also vitamin B12 as well, which is really good. So for working out, for me, the reason I like to work out is because I have issues also with sleeping. And I find working out, I have a better sleep at night, and also gives me more energy. And I find it just gives me more focus. Or if I'm having a tough day or just need to just get my thoughts together, I find working out seems to kind of get me back on track. I do a lot of stuff with weights, some good things for movement. If you are just starting out, you can do simple things like going for a walk, hiking when it's nice, of course, maybe like tennis, like Christine was saying, like yoga. I need to actually start trying yoga. That is something I haven't done for a couple of years, but I'd like to do that. There are a few things with regards to helping your metabolism and kind of getting out of that plateau. It's a good thing to mix up your workouts. So if you are doing the same thing each time, you're actually slowing down your metabolism. So what you should do if you are doing weights, switch it up. Don't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, because it's just going to just have you at a standstill. You should try different things. I usually do each body part every day. So three body parts I do each day, but the following week I do different exercises for those body parts. So I'm not doing the same thing over and over again, because if you're trying to get your body and your metabolism going, definitely you want to make sure you're mixing things up. You can do simple things. If you don't have anything at home, there are things you can do to make like a weight, like the bands and stuff like that. There's so many different exercises, or you can just use your own body weight. So if anybody wants any tips or workout ideas or anything like that, just comment and you can always just let me know and I could definitely send some information. So I think that's all I have.
The thing is, like she said, you might feel like working out's not for you, but honestly, it's for everybody. made so many excuses not to exercise for so long. I have a few whiplash injuries, TMJ, I have one flat foot, so my hips are off. And literally I got used to not working out, but muscles matter. I posted a video in the comments and it's all about how it's so important to make sure you're taking good care of your muscles. So ketones, proper amount of protein in your diet. Don't do low protein either. Don't be scared about protein. You definitely need it. And strength training. So you guys challenge yourself, even if you just do like a yoga with Adriene, which I commented, it's a 30-day free thing on YouTube. You don't need any equipment. You just need your body. And it is super chill. It gets you better breathing. It gets you in a better peaceful mindset. So it works on your stress too. I do this before bed almost every day. And this has helped me break through a plateau. I just did literally, like, you don't even sweat. Like, there is some planking down the road, but it's like a couple seconds. You totally can do it. And even if you put your knees down and you feel like you can't do it and you're not able to even do a plank, you're trying. So that is positive, and that is one step in the right direction. So I challenge you to do, please move your body. I also commented below a video about exercise though, because a lot of people like to do HIIT. They like to do high intensity. They like to do like running, long runs. And yeah, maybe this will give you some muscle and help you lose weight or help your metabolism for a while, but maybe it won't help at all, or you'll plateau from it because your body is increasing the cortisol stress hormone and storing fat, because in our ancestry, we used to run and do high intensity stuff when a bear or tiger was coming after us. So we had to store the fat. We weren't like burning fat. We were focusing on survival. So to mix it up, take breaks. Like if you're in a HIIT program, you can't quit, just take breaks. Cool down throughout. If you love running and you need it for your mental health, do a sprint and then do a walk. Then sprint and then walk. The video below has a lot of information, but like walking on an incline or with resistance on an elliptical, I do that once a week, doing chill workouts like yoga and muscle training, like weights. That is amazing for your hormones. It's amazing for strength, and it's not going to spike cortisol, which is that stress hormone, which if that's high, you're going to plateau. You're going to have maybe bad sleeps, health issues, cardio issues, and stuff long term. There's a lot of research. A lot of marathon runners, they were carb loading and running their butts off, training and running, and a lot of them ended up with some cardio issues from all of the inflammation from that stress hormone. So just make sure you're doing what you're doing wisely. You might think, oh, this is a good workout, but maybe it's not the best one. And you don't want to be in pain and stuff. So I love yoga. So definitely check that out below. Liz and Caradon got me into it, and I've brought some friends over, and they have their different ailments and stuff, but they're still able to do the yoga, and it feels good, and it makes you mentally feel good too. Meditation, you can find that on the Calm app, Spotify, YouTube, it's everywhere. And if you mix it in with your yoga, usually you're saying some peaceful, positive things. Yoga before bedtime is life. Honestly, guys, if you're having trouble sleeping, do that. You guys need 7 to 9 hours a night if you're a healthy adult. So make sure you're getting the proper sleep and get it before midnight. Don't just count those hours after midnight, because you're raising that stress hormone again. Decrease your stress as well, because you're increasing that stress hormone, which is going to cause inflammation, health issues, and plateauing. But that's not the most important thing. Your health is your wealth, no matter what your size is. Okay, friends, love yourself, please. It is a journey, right? It isn't going to be like, boom, you're at your goal weight. It's going to take time. So get used to those plateaus and just be committed to yourself. Be gracious on yourself. Not every day is going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail forward. That's my new favorite saying. But you just have to be proud of yourself 1% better every day. Okay. Couple of things to close out. Stay off the scale. Track your inches and pictures. Have your face in there, inches 3 places on your waist, because the scale's going to lie. As you're building muscle or preserving muscle because you're using ketones, you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, what's happening? The scale's not moving. I'm doing all these things. But muscle is really dense and it appears really heavy, right? So sometimes you're transforming your shape, but the scale is staying at the same spot. Inches are hard too. Maybe your measuring tape's in the wrong spot, or you only measured one spot on your belly. It's not going to be very effective. So please take your pictures. My pictures are super powerful. I had my face and neck in there and I look like a completely different person. And I'm super, super grateful for the transformation that I've had. But I wouldn't have really noticed it if I didn't have pictures, because 40 pounds, like some people are like, oh, that's a lot or that's not a lot. Everyone has their different opinion, but I've literally heard that it looks like I lost 100 pounds based on my picture. I did have a very large tummy. So I am very grateful that I lost the 40 pounds, but I built muscle along the way too. So it's probably like, if you looked at a pound, it probably seems more, but the numbers don't matter. You're more than a number. So just do things that make you feel good. Remember, when you're drinking ketones and you're eating healthy and you're being strategic, this is your life, right? And we got to love ourselves. We're with ourselves for the rest of our life. We're being strategic about loving and caring for ourselves and doing things that are going to be healthy. We're not just like working out like crazy because we think we're going to lose weight. We're doing something that's healthy for us. So make sure your mindset's in the right place. If you guys have a bad mindset or an off mindset, I shouldn't say bad, but a lot of us have problems with just thinking about eating. So definitely watch that Eating Psychologist live. There is a replay. I'm going to post it to the YouTube as well. So just every day, just work on yourself and you're going to reach your goals no matter what they are, as long as you stay committed. Okay. For all you're probably in the Journey to Better group. So this group is exclusive for customers. This video we can share around if you have friends that need some hacks and tips, definitely please share. So if you guys aren't in the Journey to Better group, you just need to get your ketones from one of us and then you're up for winning the prize. And there's going to be a contest every month. Guys, keep having fun, play full out, live your best life. And I guess we're going to say bye for now. We love you and appreciate you. And we're so grateful that each and every one of you are on this journey with us. Bye for now.